Hey legends, and welcome back to another episode of Hungry Hunter. Today you're joining us out in the field again. We're going to be making a really simple dish, venison backstrap with sauteed mushrooms and cheesy flatbreads. We'll get into it. Food is so much more than just what you put in your mouth. It's a connection to both the land and the sea and the animals we hunted to acquire it. This show is dedicated to sharing that lifestyle with you. We'll be sharing simple tips and tricks as well as our favourite recipes for wild game and seafood feasts. Cooking both out in the field and in the comforts of our kitchen at home. Welcome to Hungry Hunter. This season of Hungry Hunter is proudly supported by Dog and Gun Coffee, makers of bloody good coffee, ready for adventure. Well, we've just come back from a hunt. We're starving. We want something really quick. Looks like it's about to pour down rain, so we'll get into it. I'm just going to set these off to the side first because the thing that's going to take the longest is actually the flatbread. So I'll get this bowl up here. First, what we're going to do is we're going to add in, we've just got plain flour, cup of milk, and some butter. A little bit of salt, rosemary, cheese, and we'll give that all a good mix now. So that's all coming away from the sides now. So what we're going to do is pull it off our rolling pin, grab a bit of flour, get that all off. And I'm just going to line our esky with a bit of flour. And we just want to knead this for a couple of minutes. Just want to get all the lumps and bumps out of it. If you need more flour on your esky or your chopping block or your bench or wherever you're making this, I advise doing it out in the field. It's pretty nice views if we don't get wet. So I've been kneading this for a couple of minutes now. What we're going to do is we'll set that aside to rest, and I'm going to get my venison back, put this skillet on to start heating up because we want to put it into a hot pan. So we're not actually going to do a lot to this venison. We're just going to keep it really simple. Everything about wild cooking should be simple. We should have the flavours of that venison coming through. So all we're going to do is just add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and thyme. Venison and thyme is a beautiful combination. We're just going to sort of rub that in. Do the same to the other side. Put the thyme on first. So the cut that we're using today is backstrap. The reason we're doing that is it's going to be our most tender cut as well as ribeye. Like, you don't really want something with a lot of connective tissue because we're going to be cooking it really quickly and really hot. And then we want to be serving this medium rare. You don't want to, because it hasn't got a lot of fat, you don't want to be serving it well done. We're just going to put some oil in the pan now. And now we've got this big knob of butter. Right, we're trying to restore our energy. We've been out walking, hunting, glassing all morning. So we're also going to put this knob of butter in. You can see that bubbling straight away. And then we're going to follow that with our thyme-crusted backstrap. The smells that are coming out of that pan are sensational, but it's been a couple of minutes, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn that backstrap now. How good does that look? You can see all the charred, caramelised edge of the meat. That thyme's pretty much sticking and crusting that backstrap. That's going to taste so good. We'll give that a couple more minutes and then we'll leave it on our chopping block to rest. So that backstrap's cooked now, so what we're going to do is we're going to take off this. I've got a chopping block here, and we'll leave that to rest for a little bit, and we're actually going to put the mushrooms straight into the pan. We want them to soak up, be like a sponge, and just soak up all that meaty thyme, all the salt and pepper, all the flavours that have been going on in that pan, and they're going to just absorb all of that and just be an absolute treat in those little flatbreads. Those mushrooms are well on their way, so what we're going to do is we'll get started on the flatbreads. So I'm just going to cut this into sections. This is rested now. Just put a bit of flour down, just a little bit, and our rolling pin too. And we're just going to roll these out. You can just see the flecks of rosemary and cheese coming through. They're going to be so good. So that's probably the consistency you're looking for, about 3 mil thick. So start making a little pile. I'll set that one aside and we'll keep rolling these out while our mushrooms cook. So that's the last one done. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the skillet up onto the grate And we're just going to put a bit more wood in the fire and get that stoked, just so the heat comes up and we can actually put the flatbreads on and they can sort of cook. Otherwise there won't be enough heat in the fire at the moment. We're just going to add a little bit of oil, and then we're going to go ahead and add the flatbreads. What we're waiting to see is, see how this one's already starting to bubble up? We're waiting to see bubbles form, and after about a minute or so, then we'll flip them. Look at the coloration on that. Got the nice golden brown. This one's ready to flip too. Give our mushrooms a mix. It's coming together nicely. We'll just keep cooking all these flatbreads and then we'll plate everything up. Well, that's the last flatbread on. You can see the bubbles starting to form already, so we're just going to plate up these mushrooms. Set these over here. Well, flatbreads are finally done. We'll take these off. The moment of truth. Just going to open up our venison. Slicing it nice and thin. It's going to be on our flatbreads with our mushrooms. Look at that. Beautiful and pink in the middle. Nice and caramelised on the outside with our thyme crust. All right, let's assemble one of these bad boys. Grab a couple of pieces of backstrap. For these mushies. Fold him up like a snug little pillow. Oh, that's so good. You really taste the thyme and rosemary coming through. That meat is so tender. Everything really complements each other in this dish. Absolutely beautiful and so simple and easy to make.